Today I'm going to give you 13 or more reasons why the Islamic prophet Muhammad is not a Muslim. Some of you will be surprised. I am going to use the Quran and the Islamic books to determine whether Muhammad is a Muslim. First, somebody will ask, but what is a Muslim? What is a Muslim? Who is a Muslim? That's what we ask. Who is a Muslim? A Muslim is somebody who submits to the will of Allah. That's the first thing. Someone who submits to the will of Allah. 2, who follows the teachings of Islam as revealed in the Quran and the Hadith. I say it again. A Muslim is somebody who submits to the will of Allah. Or what Allah says is what he does. And secondly, he follows the teaching of Islam as revealed in the Quran and the Hadiths. As revealed in the Quran and the Hadiths. But the main subject is what I call Mohammedology. Mohammedology is my college. Do you understand? It stands for the study of the art and science of the true Islamic prophet Muhammad. You see, the word Mohammedology, Muhammad stands for Muhammad, and logy is a Greek word meaning study of. So Mohammedology means the study of the prophet Muhammad, or the study of Muhammad. And that's what we are going to do today. And I'm going to give you between 13 and 16 reasons why I think Muhammad is not a Muslim. And I'm going to use the Quran and the books of the Muslims to determine whether Muhammad obeys Muhammad or whether Muhammad goes by what Islam determines or wants. Yes, several key Islamic beliefs that makes Prophet Muhammad fail or using the Quran and the Hadith. And I'm going to use the Quran and the Hadith to show you that Muhammad is a failure concerning who a Muslim is. Failure number 1: monogamy. Monogamy has got to do with having plenty wives. You see, when you read the Quran and so on, it says that a Muslim should have what? 4 wives. 4 wives. Let's go to Quran chapter 4, verse number 3. I have the Quran translated here. Quran chapter 4, verse number 3. Quran 4, verse 3. It says, a man should not have more than 4 wives. Quran 4, verse 3. A man should not have more than 4 wives. So if this is what Allah is saying through his prophet Muhammad, and he's saying that a man should not have more than 4 wives, the question is, how many wives does Muhammad have? How many wives did Muhammad have? Like I'm saying in this study, I'm going to use the Quran and the Hadith to determine whether Muhammad is supposed to be a Muslim or is a Muslim. Even though according to the Quran, he is supposed to be the first Muslim. Let's look at Quran 33, verse 50. We're talking about the first failure, the first failure of Muhammad, or failure number 1. Quran 33, verse 50. Quran 33, verse 50 says, "O prophet, we have made lawful to you your wives, and a believing woman who offers herself to the prophet if he wishes to marry her." You see, this is what the Quran is saying. The Quran is saying that he told Muhammad that we have made it lawful to you your wives, and a believing woman who offers herself to you the prophet to marry. What the Quran is saying that when the woman says he likes Muhammad, and Muhammad too adores the woman, Muhammad can take the woman as a wife. That is what the Quran here is saying. As we go on, we will determine whether the Quran actually is from a God or from Allah, or they are the words of Muhammad. They are the words of Muhammad, which are determined, which are find out from the same Quran and the Hadiths. Let's look at Sahih Muslim 1463. Sahih Muslim 1463 says that the Prophet had 11 wives at a time. According to the Quran, how many wives is a Muslim supposed to have according to the Quran? Is it not 4? But Muhammad had, according to Sahih Muslim, Muhammad had 11 wives. So failure number 1, Muhammad had 11 wives, when the command of Muhammad to every Muslim is that every Muslim should not have more than 4 wives. Whether you are a billionaire, you are a millionaire, you are a king, you are whoever you are, the command of Allah is that no Muslim should have more than 4 wives. But how many did Muhammad have? 11. Not even 6 or 8 or 10, but 11. Almost times 3. Almost times 3. Let's read Sahih al-Bukhari 268. Sahih al-Bukhari 268. Narrated Qatada. Anas bin Malik said, the Prophet used to visit all his wives in a round during the day and night, and they were 11 in number. I asked Anas, had the Prophet the strength for it? Anas replied, we used to say that the Prophet was given the strength of 30 men. And Said said, on the authority of Qatada, that Anas has told him about 9 wives only, not 11. Sahih al-Bukhari 268. Some people were in a way gossiping and discussing the way Muhammad keeps on having wives and sleeping with women. And he said in a day, he could go through all the wives, the 11 wives, in the morning and then in the evening. And they were saying, how is he able to have sex with 11 women maybe twice in a day? And he said, don't you know Allah, the prophet has been given the strength of 30 men. So what 30 men could do, can we come to sex? Muhammad alone has that strength. That is what they have been gossiping and thinking about. But the question is Muhammad not a failure? Didn't he violate the rule that no Muslim, whoever you are, should marry more than 4 wives? So my Muslim friend, this is failure number 1 for your Islamic prophet. He married more than 4 wives when your Allah is supposed to have commanded all of you Muslims to not to marry more than 4. Let's go to failure number 2. Let's go to failure number 2. Wherever you are, just keep on watching these videos, and don't forget, wherever you are, share these videos to your friends. Share these videos to your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. May God bless you. I'm Dr. Botwe-Chrysolite. May God bless you. Let's go on. Failure number 2. We talk about the honesty in marriage. You see, according to Muslims, Allah condemns lust. You see, according to Muslims, Allah condemns lust of the flesh, lust of the eye, pride of life. Pride of life. But Muhammad took his adopted son wife. He took his adopted son's wife. Somebody will say, if the woman love, the fact of the matter is, Muhammad adopted this man, that is Zaid, and he decided to go and visit Zaid. When he went to Zaid's house, Zaid was not around. The person who was there was his wife Zaina. He knocked on the door. He didn't even knock on the door. He entered the room, and he saw Zaina bathing. Zaina was naked, and he saw the nakedness of Zaina, and I believe he swallowed. Do you understand? And he felt for Zaina. And when Zaid came, concerning what Zaina was talking to him, the wife was talking to him, Zaid realized that, and later he met his father. Do you understand? And he realized that the prophet was in love with his wife. And if the prophet is in love with your wife, because according to Allah, the prophet can marry anybody at all he likes. And because he realized he was in love with his wife, he decided to divorce the wife before he's married. Before he's married. I read Quran 33 verse 37. Quran, which is supposed to be something that is from everlasting, that has no beginning. Look at what is being said in the Quran. the history of what took place in Muhammad's life, the physical history, is already supposed to be in the Quran before Muhammad was even born. Surah 33 verse 37. Quran 33 verse 37. When Zaid, Muhammad's adopted son, has dissolved his marriage, we, Allah, married her, Zainab, to you. So there should be no difficulty for the believers in marrying the wives of their adopted sons. You see, because Muhammad loves the woman, the adopted son's woman, he said that is what Allah is saying. It's in the Quran. And according to Muslims, whatever is in the Quran is from Allah. So Allah is saying that He said that we married her to you. Because some people were complaining. Then he told his followers that maybe you want to, maybe your adopted son, your adopted son's wife, your adopted son is dead, and the wife is there, and you want to marry the woman. So because of that, because it's your adopted son, you cannot marry. So he's saying, Allah said, he is an example, and because he's an example, he had to marry Zaid's wife, Zainab, Zaid's wife, Zainab, so that you people have the opportunity, so you can marry your adopted son's wife, Mohammed. To the extent that even Zainab has used to boast that Allah himself married me to Muhammad from above the seven. Yes, that's what Zainab also started to say. But you know something? When we look into the Quran, you ask yourself whether it is the Quran is actually full of the words of Allah, or is actually Allah who has been saying the things in the Quran. Let's look at Surah chapter 69, verse 40. Surah 69, verse 40. This is what Surah 69, verse 40 says. That this is verily the word of an honored messenger. Do you understand? The words in the Quran are the words of an honored messenger, or the messenger is Allah. The messenger, is it the messenger Allah? The words of a honored messenger. That's supposed to be Muhammad. Now let's look at what Aisha, the woman who was married at 6 years, the young girl who was married at 6 years, and then he started having sex with her at 9. A very young girl. And Aisha was most of the time with the Prophet Muhammad. Listen to what Aisha will say concerning the way Muhammad seems to answer the prayers of Muhammad when it comes to having wives and so on. Oh, this is serious. Let's look at Sahih al-Bukhari 4788. Sahih al-Bukhari 4788. I read. Narrated Aisha, I used to look down upon those ladies whom had given themselves to Allah's messenger. And I used to say, can a lady give herself to a man? But when Allah revealed, into you, oh Muhammad, can postpone the 10 of whom you will, of them, your wives, and you may receive any of them whom you will, and there is no shame, there is no blame on you if you invite one whose 10 you have set aside temporarily. That is Surah 33 verse 1. I said to the Prophet, I feel that your Lord hastens to fulfilling your wishes and desires. I shall realize that when Muhammad did something, his husband did something, he will say that, hey, that's yes Allah. And when Muhammad wants a woman to marry, he will say, this is what Allah is saying. Then he will go and sleep with the woman. Do you understand? And because he has told the women that if you love me, just come and propose to me. Some of the women were coming who were so ugly. And Muhammad realized that these women are so ugly. So he said, Muhammad said, Allah told him, if the women come and you don't desire that, you postpone, you let them go, let them come at another time. So women were coming to Muhammad because Allah said he's using him as an example. Do you understand? So women were coming who love Muhammad. They wanted Muhammad to use them, to sleep with them, so that they have a little Muhammad anointing. They have a little anointing from Gabriel. They have a little anointing from Allah. So the women were coming, bow line. God, Mumaya, God, Mumaya. 1,000 here, 1,000 there. They were coming in their numbers. They were coming in their numbers. And Muhammad was sleeping with them, and including the ugly ones. And Muhammad, he said, Allah said that. Can a lady give herself to a man? But when Allah revealed, oh, you Muhammad, Muhammad said, Allah revealed to him. He said, oh, you Muhammad, you can postpone whom you will of them. You will, and there's no blame on you. When the women come and you think, you can say that you go tomorrow. So that's the person who is supposed to be the prophet. This is supposed to be the person who is supposed to be somebody who Allah is using. But he was not honest. He had 11 wives, but he was still going for concubines. He was still going for slave girls and so on. That's a prophet. You see, this is a failure. He failed having plenty of wives. He failed being honest to his wives, to the extent that the wives were even complaining, to the extent that Aisha was complaining. That is failure number 2. Failure number 3. Islam said their women should be honored and their women should be respected. But I want you to know that Muhammad, the women should be honored, the women should be respected. I want you to know about Muhammad abused women and never respected the women, including his wife Aisha. When you read the Sahih Bukhari will tell you that the prophet one day went and he stuck on the chest of the woman. He stepped on it and he started beating her. He struck her, and as I said, it caused her pain. That is in Sahih Bukhari 58:25. He was a failure. Even when it came to treating of his wives, it was his failure. There was one of the wives, I've forgotten the name of the wife, and the wife realized that Muhammad wanted to divorce him because he was an old lady. And he begged Muhammad and told him that, oh, I beg you. You can give, when it's time for me to have sex with you, you can go and visit. I give mine to Aisha. Do you understand? So when he goes round and he reads that old lady's side, he goes and sleep with Aisha. He was not honoring the women. Do you understand? He was so lustful. Please, Muslims, I am using your Quran. And there was something that Muhammad told his people, that if you told the women, if your wife is disturbing you, you can what? Beat them. You can beat them. Surah chapter 4, verse 34. Surah chapter 4, verse 34. It says, Muhammad hit his wife Aisha and allowed men to beat their wives. He allowed men to beat their wives. That's his failure number 3. Now failure number 4. I'm saying Muhammad, when we are saying exactly who is supposed to be a Muslim. That is somebody who accepts and bows or submits to the will of Allah, and somebody who goes by the instructions of Allah in the Quran and the Hadith. Then Muhammad is a failure. But Muhammad is not a failure. When you realize that Muhammad, the words in the Quran, most are from Muhammad. Like beating of wives, like sleeping with all kinds of women, and so on. They are words of Muhammad. And it is said that they are the words of a noble messenger. The Quran. It's not every word in the Quran that is from Muhammad. You understand? Because the book itself came from Warakwa, the uncle of his first wife, Khadija, who was translating the Bible into Arabic. He could not finish, and then he died. And when he died, Muhammad took it, and he put fairy tales inside. He re-edited it and so on. He took many of the things concerning Bible out of it, And he added what is worse. And then later, Uthman also continued, added they substantiated it. So the Quran you have right now mostly are not Muhammad's ways. Some are his ways, some are from Waraka, some are from the other prophets, other scholars like Uthman. The fourth failure is that there's no personal gain. Prophets should not exploit followers. But Muhammad took the wealth and the women. He took the wealth for the women. Prophets are supposed to be humble. They are supposed not to seek their personal gain. That is what the Muslims believe. They are not to seek their personal gain. But Muhammad was a failure here. It was a failure here. Let's look at Quran 8 verse 41. Quran 8 verse 41. Quran 8 verse 41. I read. Quran 8:41. And know that whatever you obtain of war booty, then indeed for Allah is 1/5 of it, and for the messenger. It was a failure. But like we said, the Quran is some of the words are from Muhammad. Now, what a prophet is supposed, according to Muslims, a prophet is supposed to be somebody who will not just take things for himself. He will not think about having personal gains. Do you understand? Having personal gains. But Muhammad said, Allah is saying that when they go to war, the war booties, Muhammad, Allah, is supposed to take 1/5 of the war booties. Quran chapter 8 verse 41. And know that whatever you obtain of war booties, then indeed for Allah is 1/5 and his messenger. Do you understand? So the prophet is supposed to be taking 1/5. Sometimes you Muslims accuse pastors, you say we have been taking 1/10 tithe and so on. For you to know, when we take churches that take tithe and so on, when we take it, the pastors don't chop it, unless it's a fake check. The pastors don't chop it. It is for the church. To pay the pastor, to pay the salary of the workers in the church, to buy land, to build church and so on. Plus the offerings. That's what is done. You see? But your Muhammad is so pastors take 1/10 for the church. Muhammad says, Allah says you should take 1/5. What is 1/5? When you have 100, and you divide it into 10, that is 1/10. That means if you have, let's take $100, 1/10 is $10. Is $10. Now Muhammad is saying that his Allah says you should take 1/5, which means if you have $100, you divide into 5, and when you divide into 5, it is $20. So tithe is $10. Muhammad takes $20. So my friend Muslims, I want you to know that your prophet Muhammad even takes more than the churches you have been accusing. Your prophet takes more than that. And there's a verse, I don't have it right now, there's a verse that shows that even when people come to your prophet for consultation, he charges them consultation fees. And then the war booties also, when they go and take people's camels, horses, they take people's women and so on, he takes 1/5 of the women to sleep with. He takes 1/5 of the horses, the camels, the 1/5 of the people's gold, diamonds, everything. Those they conquer. He takes 1/5. He says it's for Allah and his messenger. And that is Quran chapter 8, verse 41. Is Muhammad a rare Muslim? My Muslim from I ask you. Let's read Sahih al-Bukhari 43 verse 50. Sahih al-Bukhari 43 verse 50 concerning women. The messenger of Allah said, wherever there is a captive woman from war, she is lawful to us. Do you understand? She is lawful to us. And if they've captured 100 women, they've killed all them, they've captured 100 women. 100 women, 1/5, he said this is lawful to them. So 1/5 belongs to him. That is Muhammad. That's why officially he has 11 wives. Unofficially, I know he has 33 wives. But apart from the wife, he has sex slaves and concubines. That is Muhammad. So Muhammad was a failure. That's the fourth failure. He took 20% or the war booties, and he married the war captives, even though he had 11 wives, when Muslims are supposed to marry only 4 wives. Let's go to I say again, if you're a Muslim, please, I'm not against you, I'm not against your prophet. I'm using your Sahih and I'm using your Quran to determine whether your Muhammad, he has failed. Whether your Muhammad, what he says the Allah says he should do in the Quran and the Hadith, whether he is doing it. And for you also to know that there's some things in the Quran which were said by Muhammad, like having many wives, like sleeping with adopted son's wife, Zainab. It was Muhammad who said it, and Aisha realized it. To the extent that, hey, Muhammad, my husband. That's why when you tell Allah something, he hurries up to answer your prayer, and then you tell him that that's what Allah is saying. That's what Allah is saying. He was a failure. Muhammad was a failure. So please, wherever you are, don't forget to know, if you're a Muslim, come to Christ. If you're a Christian, share the video to your friends. And don't forget to subscribe. Let's go to failure number 5. Failure number 5. Truthfulness. Islam, Muslims will tell you that they are those who have been speaking the truth. Those who have been speaking the truth. And they are saying that Muhammad is the one who speaks truth. But we will determine whether Muhammad actually has been speaking the truth. Because they said that prophets of Allah are supposed to be speaking the truth. Let's look at Surah. Go into the Hadith. Let's go into the Hadith and read Sahih Bukhari, number 26, verse number 2692. Sahih Bukhari 2692. Let us say whether Muhammad is lying here. This is what Muhammad said. The prophet said, war is deceit. Are you sure he's speaking the truth? He says war is deceit. War is not deceit. If war is deceit, Muhammad will not partake of, in 10 years, he will not partake of 20 wars or battles. Because every time he was attacking people's towns to take their women, to take their goods, to take their diamonds, to take their golds. Is war a deceit? Maybe war is a deceit because he's deceiving people. Let's read Sunan Abu Dawood. Sunan Abu Dawood, number 4359. It says it is permissible to lie in 3 cases: war, reconciling between people, and when a husband lies to his wife. Muhammad is said to be somebody who speaks the truth. Now this is what Muhammad is saying. He said it is permissible to lie in 3 ways. When there is a war, you can lie. Somebody will say that, oh, okay, you mean when there's a war, I want you to know that there's something called hijab. Oh no, not for this thing. Where Muslims like to go to war and so on. Jihad. Sorry, there's not. I don't say hijab. Jihad. Where Muslims like to go to war and so on. And Muhammad is saying that there are 3 ways you can lie, and the 3 ways that you can lie is when there is a war. But do you know that if you are on Facebook or your social media and you are watching or you are on YouTube, you are watching, do you know that there are many types of war? When you are debating with a Muslim, or a Muslim is arguing with you, or a Muslim is discussing Quran and the Bible with you, it's a type of war. Because you, the Christian, want to win him to Christ, and he also wants to win you to Allah. So it's a type of war. And Muhammad is saying that when you are in a war, you the Muslim, you have to lie. You have to lie. That's why Allah even says that he's the best. People think they can deceive, and people have been deceiving. But Allah is the best of deceivers. I quoted it. I'll put the the verse. I'll put the verse here for you to read it yourself. He says he has been deceiving people and he's the greatest deceiver. So because he's the greatest deceiver, Allah has told Muhammad that they can also deceive in war. In war, they can deceive. The second area they can deceive is when there's a problem between what? Between friends. Maybe there's a friend and there's a problem between the friend. Do you understand? You can tell lies so that the friendship will not break. That's what Muhammad said. You can tell lies so the friendship will not break. Do you understand? Maybe maybe this your friend has gone to do something wrong to a friend, and the friend has seen it, and when the friend saw it, you realize that when you speak the truth, there will be problem between the two friends. So Muhammad is saying that you can lie. That's the second way they have been told to lie. There are many ways, but that's according to this hadith. The third is when there's a problem between the husband and the wife. Muhammad is saying that you can tell lies. You can tell lies to your wife. If maybe you went and caused adultery. And then you were sin. Your friend can come and protect you to lie for you. Or you can tell lies to your wife. Do you understand? And Muhammad said when you tell lies to your wife, it is not a sin. So, that is why Muslims on Facebook, social media, that's where they keep on lying. That's why they keep on lying. It's acceptable to Allah. And that's why Allah says that He's the greatest of deceivers. There are six acts and signs of lies and deception. There are 6 male acts and signs of lies and deception of Islam. That is Taqiya, Toriya, Muruna, Kitman. I've forgotten the other two. I'll write it there. Taqiya, Toriya, Muruna, and Kitman. So Muslims are trained to lie. And when there is no lies, Islam will die. Islam needs to be telling lies because officially their Muhammad said they should lie. And because officially their God, Allah, is a deceiver. And He has told them that they can deceive. So the prophets of God are supposed to be people who don't tell lies. But was Muhammad telling lies? Was he a liar? Was he doing deception? He didn't have absolute truthfulness. That is Muhammad. He was not truthful in whatever he did. So Muhammad failed in number 5. He failed in number 5. He's a failure. But he has passed. He has passed this one because it was Muhammad, because it was their prophet who encouraged. It was their Allah who encourages them to tell lies. So here Muhammad is a true Muslim. But if you talk about truthfulness, Muslims talk about truthfulness, and you say Muhammad is not telling lies, or you Muslims don't tell lies, then Muhammad is not a Muslim, and you are also not a Muslim. According to your definition of Islam, your definition of Muslim. That's failure number 5. Now let's go to failure number 6. Failure number 6, equality. Islam teaches that all people are equal, and that's what Muhammad has told them, that everybody on earth is equal. Men are equal to women, women are equal to men, everything is equal. Black is equal to white, white is equal to... They said everybody is equal. But it is not true. Let's listen to this Sunan al-Nasai 4184. Let's listen to what is there. A slave came and pledged to the prophet to immigrate, and the prophet did not realize that he was a slave. Then his master came looking for him. The prophet said, "Sell him to me," and he bought him for 2 black slaves. Then he did not accept the pledge from anyone until he asked, "Is he a slave?" That is Sunan al-Nasai 4184. Now, they said everybody is equal. I want you to know that Muhammad was a racist. A slave of a certain man ran away from his master. And he came to Muhammad, and he was begging Muhammad to help him migrate to another area. Muhammad didn't know that that boy was a slave, or that man was a slave. And the man had a fair, he was fair colored, just like Mohammed. And Mohammed would love that boy. And he liked that boy, love and like that boy. And he was chatting with the boy. Then later, the boy's real master came. And Mohammed got to know that the boy is a slave. And because Mohammed loved and liked the boy, he told the man that, I want to buy your slave. And the man, so later, Mohammed bought the slave with 2 black slaves. It's not racism, which means that Mohammed, when he compares 2 black slaves, one white slave is equal to 2 black slaves. Is that not racism? Was Muhammad not looking down upon blacks? That's why Muhammad had plenty black slaves. That's why Muhammad was encouraging the African slave trade. Yes, he was doing it even before the whites came from Europe and came and scrambled and came and took slaves. Muhammad was doing it more than 300 years ago. He was even as 300 years ago. Now let's look at another thing. Let's look at Sahih Buhari 6145. This is what Muhammad is saying. Obey your leader, even if he is an Ethiopian slave with a raisin-like head. Sunnah ibn Majah 2:28-60. It was narrated from Anas bin Malik that the Messenger of Allah said, listen and obey, even if you are one appointed over you as an Ethiopian slave with a head like a raisin. You see, when you say the head like a raisin, you are insulting the black people. You are insulting the Ethiopian. Do you understand? You are insulting the Ethiopian. So Muhammad failed in these 6 tests. Or when you're using the Quran and the Hadith, he failed. One, he bought and sold and owned slaves. And he referred to black people with offensive language. He said their head is like raisin. That is Muhammad. It's a failure. So my Muslim friend, I'm saying again, number 6, this is number 6. If you go by what you believe to be Islam, that you have to obey Allah, submit to the will of Allah, and go by what Allah have instructed you to do, then I'm telling you, Muhammad has failed. He has failed from the way you see, you think who a Muslim should be. But when you look at your Allah, and the way Muhammad talks to him, and the answers he gives back to Muhammad, I am telling you that your Muhammad is a real Muslim. But you are failed. You are a black man, you are watching me. I want you to know that formally, he even believes that you blacks, or we blacks, we are going to hell's fire. Yes, concerning when God, Allah make Adam, you see, it's another version. He says we black, we are supposed to be made for, God, he said Allah created us for hell's fire. And Allah made heavens for the wise. Is that not racism? And this man you say is your prophet, is holy, is humble, he respects. This is your prophet. This is your prophet. So Muhammad has failed that is failure number 6. He has failed. Let's go to failure number 7. Failure number 7. You Muslims claim that Muhammad is what? Is the mercy to mankind. Is that what you say? You say it's the message to mankind. But I want you to know that according to your Sahils and so on, even though it's a message to mankind, is that somebody who was rather killing people. He was rather killing people. It's an example of the modern Hitler, who also killed many Jews. He had his soldiers to kill many Jews. I'm going to read some things to you from the Sahih, Buharis and so on, for you to know that your prophet was a killer. He was killing people so much. He was killing people. He was a failure. You say it's a message to mankind. Let's look at what a Sahih says. Let's look at what a Sahih says. I read from Sahih Buhari 3017. Narrated Jabil, the prophet said, who is ready to kill Kabin Ashraf? That is a Jew. Mohammed bin Maslama replied, do you like me to kill him? The Prophet replied in the affirmative. Muhammad bin Maslama said, then allow me to say what I like. The Prophet replied, I do. That is, allow you. Sahih al-Bukhari 30:37. Muhammad wants somebody to be killed. And another man who is also called Muhammad, he's a son of Maslama, he said, I can kill him for you. And Muhammad said, go and kill him for me. And you said this your prophet is what? Mercy for mankind. Mercy for mankind. If the person has wronged him, is he not supposed to show that mercy? Is he not supposed to show that mercy? Muslims, I ask again, you said your prophet is known as mercy for mankind. If somebody has to wrong him, is he supposed to ask who can kill that person for him? You know Jesus Christ. They did many things against him. And then he told his people, disciples, when somebody slap you, let him slap here also. When somebody take your shirt, give him your suit. Whenever somebody takes from you, let him take the rest away. This is what Jesus Christ told his disciples. And he went to the extent of saying that don't pray against your enemies. Pray for them that God himself will bless them and touch them. As Christians, we don't pray for our enemies to die. Do you understand? We don't pray for our enemies to die. But Muslims, I don't know whether the person has offended Muhammad, and Muhammad said somebody should go and kill, and the person went and killed for Muhammad. So is your prophet the mercy for mankind? Is he a man full of mercy? My Muslim friend, I ask you. You see, sometimes I just brought a little Bible here to compare and contrast your Muhammad to Jesus Christ. But when you read your Qurans and we read your hadiths, your Qurans and your hadiths are saying that your prophet, he asked somebody called Muhammad, to go and kill somebody who might have offended him. He didn't forgive him. He didn't have mercy for the person. Let's read another Sahih al-Bukhari. Narrated Ikrimah. Ali burned some people, and this news reached Ibn Abbas, who said, had I been in this place, I would not have burned them, as the prophet said. Don't punish anyone with Allah's punishment. No doubt, I would have killed them. For the prophet said, if somebody, a Muslim, discard his religion, kill him. Sahih al-Bukhari 30:17. This is somebody banned somebody for doing something wrong. Muhammad said, look, the best thing for you to do is to kill the person. And not only those who have wronged you, but he said, people who change their religion. It's also in the Quran. He said, people who change their religion or ex-Muslims, kill them. That's why the ex-Muslims, most of them, they fear to say they are ex-Muslims in their own country till they go to another country. That's why when you go to Facebook and so on, there are many, all the ex-Muslims I know, they've covered their faces, or they are using fictitious names. Like Abudu Mohammad, a Facebook friend. He's an ex-Muslim. But on the picture on the Facebook, he has turned his back. You are seeing his back, you're not seeing his face. And he said because he's a Muslim. And Muhammad said he can come and kill you. They're the ex-Muslims. I one day traveled to a town in my country, Ghana, some years ago. And I decided to go and witness to some Muslim family. They know me, I know them, because once in a while I go there and visit. And when I went, I saw this Muslim young man, and I decided to witness to him first. And then he told me, Pastor. And when he was going to me, he started to look at the left, his back. He turned to see whether, I don't know why he was turning, to see whether somebody is looking at us. Then I said, why are you looking around? He said, Pastor, let me tell you something. And he started to speak low. Then he told me, Pastor, I am now a Christian. I have left Islam. I now attend Assemblies of God Church in my town. Then I asked him, but then why are you holding the buta? Buta is the bowl that they put their water inside to wash their feet and so on. Then he said, Pastor, please don't let my family members know No, just cool down, because I don't want you to know that I'm a Muslim. You know something? I go to wash my face and my leg and so on. Then when I go into my room, I go and pray to Jesus Christ because I've left Islam. And you know, I ride a taxi. I say yes. He said the taxi I'm driving is for my senior brother. If my senior brother realize that I've left Islam, he will take the taxi from me, and my family members will beat me, or I'll lose, something will happen to me. That's why I still behave like I'm a Muslim, but I go to Assemblies of God. On Sunday, I go to Assemblies of God, and when I'm going, they think I'm going to work. I go to Assemblies of God. When I finish, before I go and look for passengers. And he says they will know he has left Islam when he leaves the town. He goes to another area. That is what is happening, because their prophet, Allah through Muhammad is saying that when somebody changes his religion, but kill him. If someone discusses his religion, kill him. It's also in Sahih Bukhari 30 verse 17. As Muhammad failed, you see, are you sure this man is somebody for mercy for mankind? Are you sure? It's a mercy for mankind. Now let's listen to this story. It's the most one of the most saddest story I've read in the hadith, and something that happened when Muhammad was alive. I'm so sad before happened. I'm so sad before happened. And that's what Muhammad said a person should do. Like I'm saying, I'm very sad with this story I'm coming to read. Let me read it. It's from Sunan Abi Dawud 4361. I read. Listen very carefully. Narrated Abdullah ibn Abbas. A blind man had a slave mother who used to abuse the prophet. A slave mother who used to abuse the prophet and disparage him. He forbade her, but she did not stop. He rebuked her, but she did not give up her habit. One night she began to slander the prophet and abuse him. So he took a dagger, placed it on her belly, pressed it, and killed her. A child who came between her legs was smeared with the blood that was there. When the morning came, the prophet was informed about it. He assembled the people and said, I adjure you by Allah, the man who has done this action, and I adjure you by my right hand, and I adjure you by my right to him, that he should stand up. Jumping over the wrecks of the people and trembling, the man stood up. He sat before the prophet and said, Messenger of Allah, I am her master. She used to abuse you and disparage you. I forbade her, but she did not stop. And I rebuked her, but she did not abandon her habit. I have 2 sons like pearls from her, and she was my companion. Last night she began to abuse and disparage you. So I took a dagger and put it on her belly and pressed it till I killed her. Thereupon the prophet said, Oh, be witness, no retaliation is payable for her blood. My Muslim friends, here was the Quran is saying, the Hadith is saying that the man was a blind man, married to a slave woman. Do you understand? And they had 2 children. And this woman didn't believe in Allah and the prophet. So he keeps on speaking to his husband against the prophet, that the prophet is not right. It's not a prophet from God. I don't believe. There is nothing he does that shows that he's a prophet. His ways, the way he speaks, the way he talks, the way he moves, the way he sleeps with plenty of women, he's not a prophet. And he even told a man that you say your prophet said that men should not marry even more than 4. But he has 11 and he has plenty of wives, plenty of girlfriends, concubines. And the man keeps on, this blind man keeps on telling the wife, please stop insulting my prophet. It continued. One night, the man did it. The woman started talking against the prophet. I believe that maybe he wanted the man to know that the prophet is not right, or the prophet, following the prophet will take him somewhere else. So while the woman was asleep, the man took a knife. The blind man searched for the wife. He took a knife, put it on the woman's belly, and he cut the woman's belly. The prophet heard of this supposedly murder. They didn't know what happened, and the prophet Muhammad gathered all his people. When they came around, and then they said the story And then he said, who did this? And this blind man came trembling, and he told the prophet that it is me. The prophet said, why? Then he said, my prophet, this is my wife. I have children with her. She has been insulting you and speaking against you wherever. But you know something? And I've been, for many, many days, I've been doing this. And I've been telling her to stop insulting or stop speaking against my prophet. She continued. So my prophet, I took knife because of your name's sake, and I killed my wife with the knife. The prophet said, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. And the prophet told the people, no one should what? Shed the blood of this man for the wife who he has killed. He said, no one. No retaliation is payable for her blood. Nobody should retaliate against what this man has done. He said, no one should retaliate against what this man has done. Because if you talk of pride, is it not pride? Was the prophet not, was his huri, was it not based upon pride? If someone have insulted you, you didn't even hear it, and the person has killed the wife, if you are truly a man of mercy for mankind, why you should have told the man that, oh no, I am a servant of Allah. I'm supposed to be a humble person. You forget when the people insult me. Once I am a prophet of Allah, no, by all means insult me. But he was happy when the man killed the wife. Muslims, are you sure your prophet is for mercy of mankind? Is the mercy of mankind? Don't you realize that your prophet ordered assassinations and executions of his enemies and executions of people's enemies instead of showing mercy? Don't you realize it? And you call this man mercy of mankind? Please. If he is really the mercy of mankind, and that is what your Allah said, then he has passed being a Muslim. But if your Allah didn't say that, and your Allah truly calls him mercy of mankind, and your Allah does not want people to be killed, then he has failed as a Muslim. So like I'm telling you, there are some things that your Muhammad will do based upon who Allah is or what Allah tells him. It shows whether he has failed or shows whether he is more of a Muslim who is submitting to the will of Allah and what Allah have said in the Quran and the Hadiths. Some of the things Muhammad have said, I'm telling you, they are off. It shows he has failed as a Muslim. But some of the things that he has said, some of the things that he has done, it shows he's a real Muslim. But also remember, some of the things that Muhammad did are based upon what he said, and it was put in the Quran. It was put in the Quran. So, number 7, your prophet has failed. He has failed. If you are using the Quran, if you are using the Hadith, he has failed. But he has passed. If that is what your Muhammad, that's what your Allah wants him to do. But he has failed if he's truly the mercy for mankind, because he was assassinating people. He was assassinating people. I'll talk about an assassination somewhere. I'll talk about assassination somewhere. Welcome. Now you say your prophet is for mercy. Let's look at what Wikipedia is saying. I quote from Wikipedia concerning his siege on the Botwe-Chrysolite people. Wikipedia, I'm reading from Wikipedia. From Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. The siege of Botwe-Chrysolite took place in Dul-Qada during January 627 CE and followed on from the battle of the trench. The Botwe-Chrysolite, a Jewish tribe that once lived in Medina, though allied with the Muslims, and even lent them equipment to dig the trench during the Battle of Trench, refused to fight in the battle as they were offended by Muhammad's attacks on Jews. Wakili claims that Muhammad had a treaty with the tribe which was torn up. Norman Stillman and Waltz believed that the existence of such a treaty was doubtful, though Waltz believed the Qurayza had agreed not to assist Muhammad's enemies. According to Safir Rahman, Mubarak Rakpur, Peter Salman, Kilman Imamda, and Ibn Qadil, on the day of the Meccan's withdrawal, Muhammad led his forces against Banu Qurayza. According to the Muslim tradition, he had been ordered to do so by God. Ibn Qadil gives the reason as Banu Qurayza broke the covenant that existed between them and the messenger of Allah, which meant there was an agreement, and Muhammad is saying that they are saying that the Banu Qurayza people, Mohammed, he said they broke the agreement they had with them. The Banu Qurayza were besieged for 25 days until they surrendered. The men from Banu Aus, who were one of the two Arab tribes in Medina, who had become followers of Muhammad and part of the Ansar, requested that Muhammad treat Banu Qurayza leniently, as they were their client tribe. Muhammad then proposed that one man from the Banu Aus pass the judgment, and they agreed. He then appointed Sa'd ibn Mu'adh, who was gravely wounded by an arrow. So Sa'd stated that, you see, he appointed somebody who has been hurt during the war. If somebody has been hurt during the war, and you want the person to throw judgment, what would the person say? He appointed Sa'd ibn Mu'adh, who was gravely wounded by an arrow. So Sa'd stated that his decision would be the men should be killed. If you are supposed to be a person of mercy for mankind, and there's a war, and the people have surrendered, and somebody who was with you has been gravely hurt, should you tell the man to pass the judgment? What the man says they should be killed. The men say the men should be killed. The property divided, and the women and children taken as slaves. Muhammad approved of the ruling, calling it in accordance with God's decree, pronounced above the seventh heaven. Well, he said that is what the Allah says, that they should kill people. And he said it was pronounced above the seventh heaven. The seventh heaven. After that, nearly all male members of the tribe who had reached puberty were handcuffed and beheaded. What happened? Well, he said, let's read that place again. After that, nearly all male members of the tribe who had reached puberty were handcuffed and beheaded. You see, they stripped. For you to know whether somebody has reached puberty, there are some things that you need to do. According to other sections, they strip all of them naked, and then they watch whether in their private area there was hair. The boys who had those who had hair in their private area, they were seen as mature people, so they handcuffed them and they beheaded them. And those who didn't have hair there's somebody who says, I'll make another video, who says that he was very, very young. There was no hair in the pubic area, so he was not killed. So those who were young but who had hair in the pubic area, they were all handcuffed and they were beheaded. The Muslim Jurist Al-Tabari quotes 600 to 900 being killed. Al-Tabari is one of the top scholars of Islam. He says Al-Tabari said between 600 and 900 Muslims were killed. People, you see, the Qurayza people, Qurayza people, between 600 and 900 were killed in one day. And according to some sources, Muhammad killed so much that he said he was tired, and then he gave the sword for people to continue, because it was he who started killing the people. It was he. And when he killed so much that he said his son is tired, and they gave to the soldiers to continue, and they killed between 600 and 900. That is Muhammad. The person you say he is what? He is what? He's mercy for mankind. The person who is supposed to be the mercy for mankind. That is your prophet. So what? He failed totally. So what? Your prophet failed totally. He failed because he was killing people every time. How do you kill between 600 and 800? And I'm saying the person who said that, At-Tabari, is a Muslim. He is an ancient Muslim, not somebody who was born 25, 60 years ago. At-Tabari is a top scholar. So Muslims ask you again, as your prophet failed in this seventh thing that I've used, did your prophet fail? Has he failed? Is he really a man that is the mercy for mankind? Does he show mercy? Does he show mercy? Does he show mercy? He congratulated the man who killed the wife. He had a problem with another man, and he sent somebody else to go and kill the person. He had war. He attacked some people. Unfortunately, the people were not guilty. Do you understand? Because he said the people should support him. And he was saying, oh, why are you killing people? And they came and attacked the people for 25 days. And the people surrounded. And he killed between 600 and 800 people in one day. When the people surrounded. You know, when people have, you know, it's very easy to kill 600 to 800. Somebody said, is it possible? They handcuffed them. According to the hadith, they handcuffed them and then they cut their head. That is very easy to do. So your prophet failed in the number 7. If you're a Christian, please share this video to your Muslim friends. I know some of you are afraid because of what is happening. I'm just quoting the Quran and I'm quoting the hadith and I am just going historically who Muhammad is. And I've told you we are studying Muhammadology, the study of Prophet Muhammad. Because what has been told by the Muslim scholars to the Muslims is that Muhammad is a peaceful man. He's a good man. He didn't kill anybody. Unless it is war. But I'm telling you, Muhammad was the exact opposite of what they have been told. And that's why you need to share these videos to your Muslim friends so that they will realize who they are. They realize that their Muhammad cannot help them to go to heaven. So that they will stop saying Allahu Akbar, Muhammadu Rasulillah. Yes. So if anything at all, even though it's off, they should say Allahu Akbar, Jesus Rasulillah. Because Jesus is the only Savior. So Muhammad has failed in number 8. He has failed. Let's go to that is number 7. Let's go to number 8. And some of you Muslims say that Muhammad is so sinless. He never sinned. But please, no, when you read the Quran, he even begged many times for Muhammad, for Allah to forgive his. Even he said Allah should forgive me his sins. And he even told Allah to forgive him his future sins. And Muhammad was somebody who was what? He was praying 70 times a day for Allah to forgive him of his sins. 70. So if somebody prays 70 times a day for Allah to forgive him of his sins, his daily sins, then it means that, was he sinless? But Islam have been saying that the prophets of Allah are all sinless. That's what Muslims have been saying. And they are saying that the most sinless person is their prophet Muhammad. But Prophet Muhammad is not sinless. When you read Surah chapter 19, verse 19, it says about Muhammad is sinning. When you read Quran chapter 48, let's read Quran chapter 48. Quran 48 says that, 48 verse 2 says that Allah may forgive you, O Muhammad, for your past and future sins. So he was a sinner. And then when you read Sahih Muslim, number 1259a, he says, Oh Allah, forgive me my past and future sins, and whatever I have done in secret or in the public. So he was sinning in secret. He was sinning in public. He was sinning when people were not there. He was sinning when people were there. So Muhammad repeatedly asked for forgiveness, which means that he was sinful. He was sinful. My Muslim friend, give your heart to Jesus Christ. Even according to your Quran and according to your hadith, he never sinned once. Jesus Christ. But your Muhammad was so sinful. Jesus Christ never sinned. Jesus Christ never sinned. He never sinned. So give your heart to Jesus Christ. Let's go to, that is failure number 8. Let's go to failure number 9. I'm saying I'll give you about 13 to 16. Failure number 9. Islam says a prophet should be humble, but Muhammad took wealth, and he was so. And they said the prophet should be people who are not greedy. Oh, my friend Muslims. And they said the prophet should not desire wealth. They said they shouldn't desire wealth. But my dear Muslim friend, your prophet said that no one should own anything except the prophet. So he took from war spoils. That is number 9. People are saying that Muhammad was so right and everything. But he said that no one should owe anything. So when he takes, then he gives them the surplus. Do you understand? He can take even the 1/5. But when he says that 1/5 is not enough, he can take. Because he said no one should own anything. Sahih Buhari, 31 verse 31, 31 verse 13. Except he said no one should own anything except the prophet. He took everything from the war spoils. And he took the nice booties. Let's read Surah chapter 8 verse 41. Surah 8 verse 41. And know that whatever thing you gain, a fifth of it is for Allah and for the messenger and for the next of kin and for the orphans and for the needy and for the wayfarer. If you believe in Allah and that which we reveal to our servant, a day of decision, the day of which the two parties meet, and Allah has power over everything. So this is the verse. I was actually looking for this verse. This verse is said that 1/5 is for the prophets, for the prophet and Allah. So your prophet, he amassed wealth. He has mass wealth. And he taxes people. The Jizra. When he attack your town, he gives you 3 options. You should surrender and be a Muslim. If you don't surrender to be a Muslim, you will pay Jizra. And the Jizra, it is a tax. For you deciding that you still want to be a Christian or a Buddhist or whatever. The Jizra, the tax, it will make you poor. You cannot even buy food to eat. That's the Jizra. Or the third, you have to be killed. You have to be killed. You have to be a slave. Either you have to be a slave forever, and Mohammad will use you as he like, or you pay the Jizra, or you become a Muslim. So when you become a Muslim, you say Allahu Akbar. Then he said there is peace. He said there is peace. But when you are not a Muslim, you refuse to be a Muslim, you become a slave, or you are killed, or you pay the Jizra. They amass wealth. So your prophets, did he pass? Did he fail? When you are looking at your Allah, then he passed. Then he's a true Muslim. And that's why he's the first Muslim in the Quran. But when you look at what you Muslims have been saying concerning who he's supposed to be or who he is, I am saying that, no, then he has failed. Then your prophet has failed. Then he's not a Muslim. According to your Sahih and according to your Quran, some things in your Quran, then he's not a Muslim. So your prophet has failed in number 9. Let's go to number 10 to show failure number 9. Failure number 9. Islam calls itself a religion of peace. And Islam is started by Muhammad. Yes, it's started by Muhammad. If Islam is a religion of peace, and started by Muhammad, is your prophet a man of peace? Is he peaceful? When you look at his life, from the time he married Aisha and so on, was he peaceful? From Khadija, and so was he peaceful? He was just killing many people. And when he finished killing you, and when you submit to Allah, and when you submit, you accept to become a Muslim, then he says peace. Then he sees at peace. Because then there is no war again. And because of then, you are saying Allah Akbar. Then because you are submitting to what he said Allah has told him. So then, he says that then there is peace. He says then there is peace. But when you don't submit, there is no peace. So, but is Islam a religion of peace? If it's a religion of peace, please, your prophet was someone who spread Islam by killing people. Islam didn't spread peacefully. Islam spread by killing people. Ask yourself, why is it that most of the wars in this modern world, apart from the First, Second World War, and apart from Hitler, most of the wars in this world, I use the word most, I didn't say all, most of the wars in this world are by Muslims. Look at this Israel and Palestinian war. Who started it? October 7th. Was it the Jews? Or was it the Christians? It was the Muslims. Do you understand? The 6-day war, the Yom Kippur war, who started it? It was the Muslims who came attack Israel. Do you understand? Go to Nigeria, Boko Haram. Go to Burkina Faso, Shabbat or what they may call them. They are all Muslim. They are all Muslims. Suicide bombing. 98% of suicide bombers are Muslims. And terrorist organization, many of them are Muslims. It is through war, just like your prophet. It is through war that Muslim expands. It is through war and fear of people for you. Even though presently, procreation is your main thing that makes you expand or increase. But when you say Islam is a religion of peace, it's not, it's tautology, it's not true. Islam is not a religion of peace. It's not a religion. If Islam is a religion of peace, why do you pray for your prophet to have peace? I'm saying again, if Islam is a religion of peace, then you don't need to tell your Allah to give your prophet peace, because he's supposed to have peace already. But Jesus Christ is the Prince of Peace. He says the peace you give to us, the peace the world does not know. There is no peace like the one the Prince of Peace gives. And if Islam is peaceful, I'm telling you, that peace is not peaceful. Because Islam is full of war. That's why even when Muslims are killing or doing suicide bombing, they shout Allahu Akbar. Do you understand? When there is war, then they shout Allah, which means that Allah is happy when they kill. Allah is happy when you kill. Shout Allahu Akbar. Islam is not a religion of peace. So if that's what Muhammad has told you, it's a failure. If that's what Muhammad has told you that Islam is a religion of peace, it's a failure. Please, your religion is not a religion of peace. And if it's a religion of peace, I'm saying that then the person who brings that peace should have peace with Muhammad. For 600 years since he died, you keep on praying every day for him and saying that the peace should come upon him. Or your Allah is not hearing your prayers. Is it like what happened, the Elijah and the Baal prophets, where they were praying for many, many hours, nothing was happening. And I want you to know, Baal is Allah. That's for another version, that's for another session. So when you look at number 10, Islam is not a religion of peace. It's not a religion of peace. It's not a religion of peace. When you read Sahih Muslim 1731, Sahih Muslim 1731, this is what it says. Sahih Muslim 1731 says, Muhammad said, I have been commanded to fight people until they testify that there is no God but Allah, and that Muhammad is his messenger. I don't know of any religion that is so murderous like Islam. And your prophet is saying that he's a man of peace. And your religion, you say it's a religion of peace. Your prophet is saying that he has been commanded to fight people, not to speak to people to come to Islam, not to go and witness to them to come to Islam, not to pray, not to try and tell them the reason why you come to Islam. But he said he has been commanded to fight people until they testify that there is no God but Allah, and that Muhammad is his messenger. It's not pride. If there are 124,000 Muslims, prophets, according to what you probably say, in the Quran there's 25, but in the Sahih Abu Haris they say there's 124,000. If it is not pride, and if it is true that you're Muhammad, it's not out of pride. It's not out of pride. He will not say that he is a messenger and everybody should agree that he's a messenger. Is it by force? You come to Christianity and some of these religions, they don't force people to accept their leader. No, they don't do that. Christians don't do that. Christians don't do that. We go peacefully and we speak to people. Even the Bible says that when you go somewhere and they forsake you, they neglect you, even they beat you, just pray for them, forgive them, and go. But your prophet has been saying that when you go, your evangelism is going to places and fighting them and telling them that they should become Muslims. Otherwise, they should become Muslims and say that the only God is Allah, and then he, Muhammad, is his messenger. And you call this a religion of peace? It's not a religion of peace. Please, if you're a Christian, please, like I said, don't have fear. God has not given you the spirit of fear, but of boldness, soundness, and good mentality. Tell your Muslim friends about Christ. Share this video with them. Share it with them. And if you're a Christian, if you're a Muslim, please subscribe to this channel. And I know God will bless you. Subscribe to this channel. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. So Muhammad failed. He failed. And Islam has failed as the religion of peace. When you read Quran chapter 2 verse 29, it says, fight those who not believe in Allah until they pay the Hijrah tax with willing submission. He said, fight those who don't believe in Allah. Look, there are many gods in the world. There are many gods in the world. And there are many people who say they belong to Christ. They belong to, they serve God. There are many shrines in my country, in my towns, in villages, all over the world. There are shrines. They just try and compel you, but Islam is the number one people who will fight you. And in the Quran, Allah is saying that fight those who don't believe in Allah. There was a Quran written by Allah. He says, fight those who do not believe in Allah. Why is it Allah who is talking? Why didn't he say that fight those who don't? It is Allah who is speaking. Why didn't he say that fight those who don't believe in me? But he says, fight those who don't believe in Allah until they pay the Hijrah tax with willing submission. So before Islam came, 600 years ago, before Islam came, where was Allah? And that God who calls himself Allah, who Muhammad said is his God, was he killing people? Was he forcing people to come and accept him? Or that Allah changed? Muhammad spread war. Muhammad spread Islam through warfare, not peace. Not peace. Not peace. So he failed in number 10. Let's look at number 11. Let's look at number 11. So that is failure number 11. But like I said, some are not failures. Some are Muhammad himself, he passed. Some are not failures. Some Muhammad passed. Some Muhammad passed because his Allah accepted what he did. Let's look at justice. Whether he failed in justice. Islam teaches that the prophet should be just. But Muhammad was biased. He was not a man of justice. And Islam says that the prophets should be people who are what? They are fair and they are just to everyone. But it's not true. Let's look at Sahih Buhari, 6788. I read. A noble woman stole, and people wanted to intercede for her. A noble woman stole. Muhammad said, if Fatima, my daughter, stole, I will cut off her hand. But he did not cut the noble woman's hand. Was it not hypocrisy? He was lying to them. The woman stole. He was a normal woman for Muhammad, but he was one of the sex. This thing, nobody can tell. And when the hypocrisy said, hey, if it's my daughter, I will even kill her. But he did not cut off the woman's hand. Is it fair? When this woman stole, Surah al-Nasai also said, the prophet ordered the execution of a slave girl for insulting him, but forgave others who insulted him. Surah al-Nasai 48-43. Was he a fair man? Is he for your prophet? Is he fair? Like I said, we are studying about the topic is methodology. That is the study of Islam, the study of Muhammad. It is my coinage. It is my coinage. The study of Muhammad is my coinage. Logi means is a Greek word, it means study of. And so we are studying about Muhammad. For you Muslims to know that the person known as Muhammad, he's not the one, he's not exactly the one who you have been told of. And you know, I'm not even quoting the Bible. I'm quoting your Quran and your Hadith to prove to you that the Muhammad you have been spoken of by your prophets and your scholars and your imams is not true. How can you kill a slave girl? I won't be surprised it will be a black slave girl for insulting him. But forgive others. And I think he has a scholar who insulted him. He didn't kill them. So Muhammad showed favoritism, contradicting Islamic justice. And that as Islam got that justice, if that is the Islamic justice of no favoritism, this was not the Muhammad failed. Then Muhammad is not a Muslim. Wherever you are, please, I say again, I keep on repeating it because it's very important. Share this video to your friends. Let's go to failure number 12, or a rare Muslim number 12. Compassion. They said your prophet, you say your prophet is a man of compassion. Is that what you say? And you say the prophet should be compassionate. But I want you to know, your prophet was ruthless. You say your prophets, and men, all prophets, the 25 in the Quran and 124,000 in the Hadith. Which means that you people have 124,000 prophets of your Allah. You are saying they should be compassionate. But according to the things that we are reading, is your prophet compassionate? Or he was ruthless? Is your prophet compassionate? Or he was ruthless? Because you remember your prophet said he has been commanded to fight against people. He killed the Qurazi people. He killed between 600 and 800 of the Battle of Trench. He killed them. He killed them. Is your prophet compassionate? I'm not sure your prophet is compassionate. I'm not sure your prophet is somebody who should be relied upon. He killed a woman. Do you understand? He killed a woman. Gravely, he killed a woman. He killed a man. He killed people. He attacked people. He forced people to be Muslims. Are you sure your prophet shows compassion? Or he ordered people to be massacred and assassinated? Let's look at failure number 13. Muslims believe that prophets do miracles and so on. Even though they are not saying it's all prophets who do miracles. But they believe that their prophets did miracle. They said his prophet did miracle. And they said that what? He divided the moon into two. This is not true. Your prophet didn't divide the moon into two. If he divided the moon into two, that means that it was a miracle. But let's read what the Quran said concerning whether your prophet did any miracle. Surah Al-Ankabut 29 verse 30. That's Surah 29 verse 30. They say, why are not signs, miracles sent down to him from his Lord? Then he says, say, the signs are only with Allah, and I'm only a clear one. You see, the people who were with Muhammad, they know how prophets of God, the real prophets of God, Elijah and so on, they were able to cause miracles to happen, and signs and wonders came. And if Muhammad said these people are also Muslims, and if Muhammad said they also are prophets of Allah, they asked Muhammad, they were asking, if Muhammad is true a prophet of God, which miracle has he committed or done? Read the Quran. The Quran says that Muhammad said that, no, I've not done anything. No, I've not done anything. I've not. God did it. Every miracle is with Allah. By me, I cannot do any miracle. So Muslims, those of you who believe, those of you who believe that Muhammad divided the moon into two, your Quran is saying that your Muhammad saying in your Quran that he didn't do it. He didn't cause any miracle. He didn't do anything. Surah An-Nasa, chapter 17, 19. I read another surah. Surah chapter 17, 90 to 93. I read. They say we shall not believe in you, O Muhammad, until you cause a spring to gush forth from the earth for us, or we have garden of date palms and grapes, and cause river to gush forth in their midst abundantly, or you cause the heaven to fall upon us in pieces, or you bring Allah and his angels before us, or you have a house of gold, or a sky, or ascend into the sky and have them. We will not believe in your ascension until you bring down to us a book that we may read. Say, O Muhammad, glory be to my Lord. Am I anything but a man, oh, a messenger? So Muhammad failed to perform the miracle. They said that. You say you ascended. Muhammad said he ascended into heaven. He went to the seventh heaven. He said it's not true. It's not true. If it is true, then give us a book for us to know that it is true. That time Muhammad didn't have a book. There was no Quran. They were just now compiling it. They were just saying it and they were writing it. Secondly, say if he said, if truly you are ascending into heaven, then perform some wonders. Let us see. Then Muhammad realized that the people are worrying him. Power. Then he said, no, he cannot do anything. He's just a warner. He's just a messenger of Allah. So, my Muslim friend, according to your Quran, your prophet did not perform any miracle. So if you say he performed a miracle, he has failed. And if he ascended into heaven, it is not true. He could not perform a miracle. He just keep on repeating things that he has done. He didn't. So this is some of the things I want to tell you. These are the things I want to tell you. But let's just look at, okay, very soon the Muslims are going to Ramadan. We are in 2025. This is February, and I think by the end of the month, the Muslims are going to Ramadan. Let's just look at concerning the fasting, Ramadan, and so on. Whether your prophet Rala went through the Ramadan, whether he did the Ramadan very, very well, whether your prophet failed, whether he fasted during the Ramadan. I made my research and it was said that during the Ramadan, the evidence is showing that Muhammad did not fully observe the fasting during the Ramadan. He didn't fully observe the fasting. My research showed me through the hadiths that I read, your prophets, your Muhammad didn't observe the full fasting during the Ramadan. Let's turn to Sunam Abi Dawood 2360. Sunam Abi Dawood 2360. Like I said, we are doing Mohammedology. We are studying about Muhammad, and I'm proving to you that if your Muhammad says he's a Muslim, then he's someone who is not a real Muslim. But if your Allah is the one who truly told him what he did, then he's a real Muslim. Sunam Ibn Dawood says, the messenger of Allah will kiss and embrace his wife while fasting. And he was the most in control of his desires. So your messenger, your prophet was always kissing his wife when he was fasting. When you are Muslims, when you are fasting, are you supposed to be kissing your wives? He embraced and kissed the wife fasting. I thought you do that after you break the fast. But when the fasting was going on, he was doing it. Is it full fasting? Now let's look at Sahih Muslim 1100,100a. Allah's messenger used to pour water over his head because of thirst while he was fasting. Which means that when people are fasting, you're not supposed to pour water on your head. But he was doing it. Because according to Islam, a true fast means avoiding food, avoiding drinking, and intimate acts. When you say you are a Muslim, you say you are fasting. You don't eat, you don't drink, you don't kiss, you don't have sex with your children, your wives. You know when Muslims are fasting, they'll be saying, because they don't even swallow the saliva. They don't even swallow the saliva. But when your prophet was alive and he's fasting during the Ramadan also, your pastor, he goes to kiss his wife, your prophet goes to kiss his wives. He embraces them, and I believe he has sex with them. He has sex with them. He had intimate relations with his wives. He drank food, he drank water, poured some on his head, and he ate. So you see, your prophet allowed himself to have special privileges, just like he had himself to have special privileges concerning wives, and he had more than 4 wives. Whatever concerning your prophet, he seems to have special, because he keep on telling you that that's what his Allah says he should do. When it comes to wives, he had, instead of the 4, he had 11. When it comes to money, he took 1/5. When it comes to food and fasting, when it comes to forsaking food and drink, when it comes to touching and kissing his wife during the fasting, the Ramadan, your prophet does all this. Was he a failure when it comes to Ramadan? Like I said, you Muslims, depending upon when you are watching this video, You might have had your Ramadan already, depending upon when you're watching this video. But this year, 2025, in February, the Ramadan has not taken place. It will take place in this February. It will take in this February. Will your prophet was, when he was fasting, he was kissing his wife, embracing them, having sex with them sometimes, eating, drinking water. Is he allowed? Did your prophet, has he failed in this? Has your prophet failed? Has your prophet failed? As the prophet broke the fast as soon as possible, rather than enduring hunger for a longer period than true fasting demands. That's what the prophet has been doing. And when it comes to war or whatever, your prophet can decide to go to war when even there is fasting. He can abandon fasting and rather go and do war. You say, is this in your Sahih? This is not in your Quran. It's in your Sahih. Let's read Sahih Muslim 1121. The prophet during a journey ordered people to break their fast when they saw difficulty. The prophet during a journey ordered people to break their fast when they saw difficulty. If fasting is commanded from Allah, why did Prophet Muhammad cancel it when he wanted? Because he wanted to eat. This is, I believe, because he wanted to eat, and he was in the crowd, and maybe he felt that what is it in the Bible said that Prophet Muhammad is breaking the fast. He said Prophet Muhammad is breaking the fast, and because he didn't want the people to say Prophet Muhammad is breaking the fast, he said, if something is happening to you, you can go and eat, because he wanted to take food. He wanted to take food, so he said, you can go and eat. So your prophet failed here too. Let's look at failure number 15. I think I'll give you between 13 to 16. Let's look at failure number 15. This year you will go to the Hajj. And the Hajj is compulsory. The Hajj is only once, yes, I understand. But it's obligatory. And you are supposed, if you have money, you are supposed to go to the Hajj very, very fast. And fast. But your Muhammad did not go to the Hajj till when the last days was about to die, before he went to the Hajj when he was sick. But did your prophet perform the Hajj? Yes, he went to the Hajj, but he performed the Hajj only once, which is known as the farewell pilgrimage, or Hijatul Wada, the farewell pilgrimage. That's your prophet. He was about to die, so it was his farewell. And it happened in the year 632 AD, shortly before he died. He would not have gone, your prophet would not have gone to your Hajj. When he said, your Allah said everybody should go to Hajj, I believe he would have had an excuse for that one, or he had been given an excuses. I believe I later found an excuses why he was not going to the Hajj till when he was about to die. I believe, as I searched through the hadiths, I believe I'll find it one day. The prophet only one Hajj, and that was only when he was about to die. Let us look at another one from Sahih al-Bukhari 1556. Sahih al-Bukhari from 1556. The prophet performed one Hajj and said, "Take your Hajj rituals from me, for perhaps I may not perform Hajj again." I may not perform Hajj again. And he performed Hajj according to the Muslim, Sahih Muslim. He performed Hajj only once in his lifetime. Some of you will say it's not true, but he performed Hajj many, many times. Okay, let us turn to another Sahih. Thank God for your Sahihs. Thank God for your Sahih. Thank God for your Sahih. Because we Christians are using the Quran and the Sahih especially, to show that Islam is a scam. And whatever you have said about your Muhammad is not true. Now we have people, Muslims, who cannot say they are what? Islam, Quran only. They say they don't believe in the hadiths. You don't even believe in the hadiths. And there are some Muslims, I've called it a Muslim, it's a sheikh, who also says the Quran is not from Allah. He said the Quran is not from his It's a stupid book. It's not from his prophets. He doesn't believe in the Quran. He believes in the Hadith. And some don't believe in the Hadith. They believe in the Quran. Thank God, if you're a Christian, please go and find a Hadith. Go and find the Quran and talk to the Muslims. I like using the Quran and the Hadith to talk to my Muslim friends because they have been programmed and told that there is no... They said the Bible has been polluted. And once they have been told the Bible has been polluted, when you use the Bible most of the time, they say it has been polluted. Even though they use the Bible to help their Islam and their prophet to have a standing feet, to have something to stand on. But they will tell you that the Bible is polluted. Because I started using the Quran and the Hadith most of the time to talk to the Muslims. I'm telling you, these days, for some years now, the Muslims have decided to run away from me on Facebook and social media. Even when I tag them, they refuse to comment. I ask them questions, they refuse. Those who are answering the questions or trying to comment under my face, my post on Facebook and social media and so on, there are people, they are Muslims who are known to me or Facebook friends just about two maximum 3 years. But those who are known for 12, 10 years, they refuse to come and comment. When I keep on telling them that they come, they only come and insult me and they go. When I tag them, they don't accept the tag. When I go to their wall and even comment, and I come and ask them questions even on their wall, their post, they don't say anything. They don't say anything. So that's now these days, many Muslims are now saying they don't believe in the Hadith. But your prophet, he delayed in his lifetime. He delayed. He never went to the Mecca for the Hajj. He went only once, and that was when he was sick. That was when he was sick. Sahih Muslim 21:37. He says, Ibn Umar reported that Allah's messenger performed Hajj only once in his lifetime. And when he performed it, he told his followers he might not do it again. You know, he's in Mecca. You know, and the Kaaba is in Mecca, and he's not. And even though it was in Mecca, he didn't partake in the Ramadan most of the time. He didn't go into the Hajj only once. He was in the same country. Don't you know that your prophet has some kind of mentality? That he has been using some psychological thing to be misleading you. To be misleading you. To be misleading you. Or you've not realized it. I want you to realize it. That he has been using some tactics to misleading you. Let's look at Mohammad. Whether he did the zakat. You know, zakat is charity. Whether he did the zakat. It is obligatory that every Muslim should do the zakat. That's one of the 5 pillars of Islam. Every Muslim is supposed to do the zakat. But Muhammad, yes, sometimes he does the zakat. But according to the Sahih, most of the time he's exempt from doing it. He's exempt from doing it. Because the charity, the most of the money rather comes to him and not to the strangers and so on. Let's read Sahih Buhari. The woman is there, it's not with us. So some of you say what I'm saying is not true. Let's look at Sahih Buhari. 1491. Charity is not lawful for us, the family of Muhammad, and the free slave of a people of one of them. The prophet is saying that when it comes to charity or the zakat, it's not lawful for them. He and his family, it's not lawful. Hello? I'm saying your Muhammad is saying that Sahih Buhari 1491. He says the zakat, the giving, the charity, it's not lawful for him and his people. Even though he takes 1/5 of the war booty, even though he takes things, but still, he says he's not supposed to be giving charity. He only gives charity to those who he's in love with. He only gives charity to those who he believes he wants to come closer to them. And since Muhammad and his family were forbidden from receiving zakat, according to what another thing we say, they said they were forbidden from giving zakat. And other people believe that Muhammad was forbidden from giving zakat. They were forbidden from receiving zakat. He personally did not give it, but it's not true. That's what some people say, that he was not receiving zakat. I'm telling you, it's not true. It's not true. Okay. Let's say that it's true. He was not receiving zakat. The man was a millionaire. And zakat is the little things that they give to Muslims, to the beggars. And Muhammad wasn't a beggar. Oh, okay, yes, it's true. Muhammad wasn't a beggar. So because he wasn't a beggar, he was not receiving the zakat. But he was not obligatory. He also doesn't give zakat. Even though he was a billionaire, he was a businessman, he had money. So it was not lawful for him to give the zakat, because he was also not receiving the zakat. He cannot receive. How is he supposed to receive the zakat when zakat is for poor people? The charity is for poor people. When you go to the mosque and when you go to various places, you see Muslims who are lepers and so on. The rich men get out from their cars and they give them money. That's the zakat. Muhammad was not giving. You know, he was a rich man. Definitely, that's for him. My Muslim friend, I tell you again, please give your heart to Jesus Christ. Your prophet has failed in this one also. He's supposed to be a giver, and you Muslims are saying he's a giver. But according to the Sahih that I'm reading, your prophet never even gave the zakat, because he said it's not lawful for he and his family. Sahih Muslim 10:7-2. He said it's not lawful for he and his family to receive the zakat. Another person says that because he also doesn't receive zakat, but zakat is for the poor people, it's for the beggars and so on. But your prophet was very, very rich. May God bless you. May God touch you. I'm Dr. Botwe-Chrysolite. Please, for a Christian, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and share the channel. Share this video to your friends. Share this video to your friends.